Fierce fighting continues between Ukrainian troops and Russian forces for control of the eastern city of Bakhmut. Ukraine has denied claims by the Russian mercenary Wagner group that it has captured the city. The battle for the eastern city of Bakhmut has become the longest and bloodiest of the war, with severe losses on both the Russian and Ukrainian sides. The Battle of Bakhmut, raging for 9 months now, has descended into trench warfare. No other city has been under siege for this long in the Ukraine war. Fighters of the White Wolves unit of Special Operations Ukraine have destroyed 21 targets of the Russian invaders, publishing the video taken by an unmanned aerial vehicle. 1490 anti-72 tanks, 9 infantry fighting vehicles, an armored personnel carrier, 3 forts, trucks, and lightly armored vehicles. Bakhmut is strategically important due to its location along the E40 highway, which connects Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, with the Russian city Rostov-on-Don. If Russia were to conquer Bakhmut, this would allow it to move on to Ukrainian cities further west, such as Sloviansk and Kramatorsk, an important industrial hub and administrative center in the Donetsk region. This, in turn, would bring Russia closer to its goal of conquering the entire Donetsk area. So far, neither Russian or Ukraine seems willing to stop fighting for control over the now largely devastated city. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has repeatedly said Ukraine will continue to hold Bakhmut. In other footage, fighters of the Ukrainian armed forces destroy or at least incapacitate 5 Russian tanks, which are speeding down a residential street. This was reported by the Telegram channel operative ZSU. 2 Russian tanks caught fire at work. He released video footage relevant to the footage taken from the unmanned aerial vehicle. Not being military experts, we dare to assume that the tanks were hit by anti-tank missiles. At the very least, it is clear that this is a high-precision weapon that ensures an immediate hit from the first shot. After the explosion, the tank that was hit by the first hit burst into flames and smoke rose up at the same time. The second tank, which followed, also flew high under the attack. The armed forces of Ukraine eliminated about 190,040 Russian troops in Ukraine from February 24, 2022 to today, including 580 invaders over the past day alone. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine posted this on its Facebook page, according to Ukrinform. Besides, Russia's private Wagner militia, which is leading the assaults on Bakhmut in Ukraine, could soon cease to exist, founder Yevgeny Prigozhin said in video remarks to a blogger that were released. Prigozhin has complained repeatedly about how Russia is conducting the war in Ukraine. He often says the regular armed forces are not giving his men the ammunition they need, and sometimes accuses top brass of betrayal. Now, with regard to the need in general for shells at the front, what we want. Today we are coming to the point where Wagner is ending, he told Russian war blogger Semyon Pegov. Wagner, in a short period of time, will cease to exist. We will become history, nothing to worry about. Things like this happen, he continued. Prigozhin said this week his troops were suffering heavy casualties due to a lack of support from Moscow. Last week he expressed concern about a counterattack by well-equipped Ukrainian troops at Bakhmut. Meanwhile, as reported by Reuters, a fire at a fuel storage facility in the Crimean port city of Sevastopol, caused by a drone strike, has been fully extinguished, the Moscow-installed governor there said. Experts had examined the site, and it became clear that only one drone was able to reach the oil reservoir, Mikhail Razvazov said on Telegram. A Ukrainian military intelligence official said more than 10 tanks of oil products with a capacity of around 40,000 tons intended for use by Russia's Black Sea Fleet were destroyed, RBC Ukraine reported. The official, Andriy Yusuf, did not claim Ukraine was responsible for the explosion in comments reported by RBC, instead describing the blast as God's punishment for a Russian strike on a Ukrainian city on Friday. A spokesperson for Ukraine's armed forces said earlier he did not have any information to suggest Ukraine was responsible for the fire. Sergei Aksionov, the Russian-appointed head of Crimea, said on Telegram that air defense and electronic warfare forces on Saturday shot down 2 drones over the Crimean Peninsula. There are no casualties or destruction, he said. Russian forces in Crimea have called for attacks on Odessa after a fire at an oil depot in Russian and exit Sevastopol. About the attack by Ukrainian armed forces drone on Sevastopol and the fire at an oil depot in Kazachstan Bay. We have no time for slow dancing. What has happened requires appropriate and tough decisions and actions. All oil storage facilities in Odessa must be destroyed. A strategic decision to neutralize Odessa as a Ukrainian military base must be made, says Olga Kavitidi, senator from Crimea.